All right, everyone, we're gonna install the Mega 360. So that's what this video is all about. If you haven't already, subscribe, follow. Also, check out my website. Just opened up a new bait shop, which will be grand opening starting in January. You will get the merchandise, a lot of merch in there. Also, we have some of the top baits I use while I'm fishing the MLF tournaments and the ABAs. So definitely check that out. That's defensebaitandtackle.org. And again, you'll see that down in the comments below. But back to what we're installing today will be the Mega 360. This is the Ultrex edition. So again, I'll be putting this on the Ultrex. Make sure if you are ordering this, make sure you are ordering the right one for your system. You can order it for the Fortrex and all the different other trolling motors out there. So make sure that you do a little bit of research and find the right one. I bought mine from Bass Pro Shops and went and picked it up in Gainesville. And again, there's several different other areas that you can find these. The price range runs from $1,200 to $1,600, depending on which variant you have. They have other different attachments that you can get on there. But again, mine was just a basic $1,200 one. And again, here we go. So we're gonna show you kind of what comes in the box. We'll go over that, and then we'll do the quick install. So I just unboxed everything and wanted to kind of go over what's gonna come inside your box. So once you receive this, you want to make sure that you have all your pieces inside. So make sure you have all your brackets. Also make sure that you buy the right one. Make sure that you buy the one. So for instance, I have the Ultrex. So I want to make sure that I have the Ultrex bracket, and make sure it actually says Ultrex on your the box when you buy it. So it'll say 360 imaging for the Ultrex. So inside your box, you'll have that bracket. You'll have a power wire, which I'll show you how to hook this up here in a little bit. This is going to be all the attachments for your transducer. To go to your wires, you should have your transducer in there. Again, protect that that cone at the end. Make sure that doesn't get damaged. You'll have your hardware. This is some glue for your bracket, which I'll show you where to put this at. You'll put that way you don't accidentally pull up your trolling motor and have your prop hit your transducer. So now let's go start installing all these pieces. Here we go. All right, I want to show everybody the setup I have currently on here. So right now I do have the Garmin live scope at the front. And also what I have is I have the different attachments here, which again, I have a separate video to show you how to keep everything nice and tight on your trolling motor, and make sure that those wires aren't hanging off or getting destroyed or caught on branches. So I have those, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna have to take off and move around since I already have that piece on there. All right, so what I had to remove first was these two bolts, which allowed me to install the brackets. And again, these are already pre-drilled into your trolling motor. So if you look on the bottom of the Ultrex, you'll see these holes that are already there. And what you'll do is you'll just line them up and then drill the holes through. All right, so let's get that installed. And there's your pre-hole drills drilled into your the top of your trolling motor. All right, so quick update. So the screws that I had, or the bolts I had that were going into the original hardware, they were way too short once I added this thick bracket. So there wasn't enough screws on the other side, enough threads on the other side to make it go through. So what I did was I added added about another 1/2 inch bolt to the top bracket. So again, if you are using this hardware, and again, I'll leave a profile, I'll leave the link below. Highly recommend it. These snaps just snap right on there. They rotate on there, they're lightweight, and it keeps everything nice and clean. But if you do add those, you will have to get longer bolts to go on those. So what I've done now is I've installed the actual mounting bracket. So there's 3 bolts to go in those. So you'll install those as well. And I'll just hand tighten everything on there right now. I kind of want to see how it all plays out. And then you'll see the next step is to actually add the transducer inside. Okay, here we go. All right, when I tighten down these bolts, I used a 10. So that was a 10 for that bolt. And then for the other side, this was a 1/2 inch. So I actually did hook that up to my drill to make it a lot faster, and did the 1/2 inch for these bolts on the back side. All right, next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed all of my wires through the top of the bracket. So you'll see me put those through. Grab my transducer. Again, I'll feed those wires through there. There's several videos to show you how to shorten up this shaft on this transducer. Again, right now, I'm just gonna kind of see where I'm at with it. I also have the live scope on there, so I wanna make sure it doesn't interfere with it. Again, I'm just pulling it through. Make sure she lines right up. And then the step after this is going to make sure that I've got it an inch. I want it to be an inch above. So what you want to make sure is that you're an inch above. So from the tip of your trolling motor or prop to your transducer, you want to slide it back to where you have roughly an inch of play in between. The reason you do that, as you spin around this trolling motor, as this spins around, it could chop up or actually damage your transducer. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure that you have a 1 inch gap here. So another thing you want to check out is on the transducer, you'll see there's a rounded end and then there's kind of a pointed end. So what you want to do is you want to take that rounded end and try to get that at your center line, about as close as possible as the center of the boat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down here in a second, actually deploy the trolling motor and make sure that's lined up. Without, I'm just eyeballing it. And again, make sure that you have that that play, that 1 inch. If you see there, I have about a 1 inch gap between my transducer and that prop. So what now I'm going to do now is I'm going to snug down the bolts. So there's 2 bolts up here. And what you want to do is you just want to snug those down. So I'm going to snug them down, and then I'm going to deploy my trolling motor to test to make sure everything looks lined up before I tighten it down. Again, I didn't tighten them all the way down, just made them nice and snug. Again, I'm using the proper tool, and I'm doing it with a hand tool. I don't want to strip these out and stress them out, so all I'm doing is using the hand tool. Again, now I have it the way I want it. All my wires are through. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to deploy it. I'm going to make sure everything's lined up. If it's lined out, I'll snug it all the way down. Okay. So everything tested out, dropped it down. It is center line, but I did notice one other issue. The other issue now is that my Garmin live scope is above and in line with the transducer. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to move it down further to the bottom of my trolling motor. So I'm gonna now unscrew these 4 bolts and slide my transducer from my Garmin down further. All right, the next step was to connect. This is going to be where the transducer actually goes into the Humminbird. So you'll just make that connection. The end is gonna look just like this. So that's what attaches in. But if you notice on the back of your Humminbird, there's only one way for it to connect into your Humminbird. So what you'll have to do is take these 2 screws off. You'll take that screw off along with this screw, and this will come apart and you'll replace it. So this is the transducer from my actual trolling motor. And what I've done is I've just taken that one out. I'm gonna disconnect it here in a second and put it back into the boat. But I disconnected that, and then I added the new, this is the new 360 transducer. So I have that added, so now it's ready to plug in. Now what I've got to do is go get my power wire connected. So you'll have your 3, you'll have your ground, which is gonna be your black, and then you'll have your red, which is your power. That's gonna power your unit. So I'm gonna connect that. And then when I'm all done, I'm gonna clean it all up with a TH Marine trolling jacket. So if you haven't seen the video on this, check that out. And all it is a neoprene cover that is Velcro. And what I'll do is when I'm done, I'm just going to Velcro it around, and you'll see the nice, pretty tight. It'll put all the wires together. Right? I don't have to worry about using these zip ties. Zip ties will cut into your cables. Also, it'll keep me from snagging it while I'm doing some fishing. So stand by and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so now we've installed the trolling motor jacket. So this is by TH Marine. You can also find it in my store at defensebaitandtackle.com. So actually defensebaitandtackle.org. .com still in work. So again, I got my plug in here. I'm about to install my unit, put that on there. I ended up having to run my power wire into my switch here because there was the 2 graphs already installed here. The dealership put the glue on the back there, and I wasn't able to pull that up. So again, I didn't want to mess up the integrity of that glue. I want this to be solid where it won't move. So I just undid these 4 bolts, ran my power switch for my transducer into this thing. One's my navigation lights, and now we're good to go. We're ready to run this. So We'll take her out here later on this week and I'll do a video and show you how it works. All right, next, what you want to do is you want to actually connect and make sure that your 360 is working. So you're gonna power on. So now we're powering on, and then what I want to do is do a system test. I want to test my system and see if it's on. And again, all this is in the book. If you want to read the book and go through the actual instruction manual, it tells you step by step what to do. I'm just trying to make this easy for you. Most of y'all are visual learners. You want to see it being done. Okay, so right, set up, press the menu. So we press menu. We want to go in normal setting, so it's going to push right over. We're going to be exit this, and already you'll see it ran an accessory test. As soon as I load it up, there is my GPS. My GPS is going in and out, but it already says my Mega 360 imaging's connected, so that's good. So that means I'm already connected, but I'm going to show you how to test it if it didn't pop up there. So we hit exit. So let's say you didn't see this upgrade already. So what you'll do is you'll hold down the view button. So we'll hold down the view button. We'll go down to system, go over, right over, down to accessory test, and right click. And that's how you conduct your system check. And you'll see there she is connected. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. And it says it's out of the water. So now I'm at least getting the screen. She's testing, and now we just need to go put her in the water. So hope this helped you. Again, if you have any comments below, or if I did something wrong, you see a better way. Oh, and by the way, update on the transducer for the Garmin. Ended up putting it at the bottom. Make sure that it's nice and straight on there. And again, what I ended up doing, because this will spin around, I ended up going up 2 inches. So I have a 2-inch gap now to allow for these cords to spin around. And again, I'm fishing shallow water anyway, so I'm going to want to slide this up. And there's those little brackets I was telling you about. Again, these rotate around. Nice to have. Everything cleaned up well. I'm going to end up pinning this back over. I'll put one zip tie here. That way those are out of the way. And that's it. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this, and good luck out there in the water.